Wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. And we got to get more into this Diddy craziness. Diddy's cooked again. But before I get into it, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show, no filter, are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Happy, the fuck day is it? Thursday. And I got my water, y'all, but it's matter of fact, let me get up and get it. Y'all know every Thursday, remind everybody to drink their water and don't be like Diddy. Got a great show for y'all today. How's everybody? I see the breakfast crew is in the building. C-Tuck, Yari, Kobe One Shinobi, and the gang is pulling up. An explosive day yesterday in the Diddy trial. I told y'all this was going to be hell week, and it's panning out even worse than I thought for the diddler. I mean, every day, one of two things is happening. Another one of Diddy's employees is flipping and turning snitch and telling the whole operation. And every day, Diddy's hiring another attorney. He's got like 10 now. He's actually literally got enough for a basketball team right now of attorneys. And the funny thing is, while the comment creeps that the few comment creeps that are supporting Diddy, while they're sitting back talking about the case is weak and all they see is domestic violence, apparently Diddy begs to differ because he's hiring 100 million lawyers every day. If he thought the case was weak or he thought this was looking like nothing but domestic violence, he wouldn't fucking keep hiring lawyers every day of the week. Just some food for thought. Use your common sense, y'all. Even Diddy knows this is a situation that damn near impossible for him to get out of. Who did we have yesterday? We had the law enforcement person, but one of the crucial witnesses we had yesterday, we had the law enforcement person finished up about all the things that he found at Diddy's residence, high heel shoes, just for men, Astroglide. Like how much Astroglide can you have? I know that whoever owns Astroglide is taking a serious hit right now with Diddy being behind bars. I'm sure Diddy was at least 60% of his market share. It was Astroglide, baby oil, guns with the serial numbers removed. And did I mention high heel shoes? And he just kind of confirmed that. But Dr. Hughes, someone that if you've been watching the Flow Show, no filter, or watching or listening, we talked about Dr. Hughes months ago, and I told you Dr. Hughes would be testifying in this case. And Mr. Told You So was right again. You saw Dr. Hughes. Who is Dr. Hughes? Dr. Hughes is an expert in domestic situations and manipulation tactics and basically all the stuff Diddy did to Cassie. And she basically laid out a few things for people. Like she talked about love bombing, which is a tactic she says people like Diddy use on their victims a lot. Love bombing is showering the alleged victim with love and understanding and gifts and praise to just and your whole goal is to fast track the love or the fake love And once that person gets their victim, got the hooks in them, so to say, then they immediately turn everything from love and praise and this and that to control, manipulation, intimidation. And that up and down roller coaster, hot, cold tactic normally creates trauma bonding, which is another thing Dr. Hughes talked about on the stand. Trauma bonding, according to her, is when the victim feels attached to the abuser and makes it difficult for them to leave. They feel empathy, they feel sorry, or feel like an attachment to their abuser, and they actually feel lost without them, as the abuser usually makes sure they have them under control financially, emotionally, in all sorts of different ways that you can, imagine. But the moment that really took Diddy out of here was a crazy moment, because this is what happened yesterday, y'all. So there was a Diddy assistant that Diddy trusted more than any of his other assistants. And even as it pertained to this case, Diddy and his defense team thought that this assistant was not going to testify, or even if he testified, he was only supposed to go up there and plead the fifth, which could have protected him temporarily and Diddy as far as his testimony. But a strange thing happened, and I was watching this in real time. I'm like, I'm looking at the transcripts in real time. I'm looking at the transcripts and how they're going, and I'm like, they said something about he was about to plead the fifth, or he had pleaded the fifth or something. It was kind of confusing when I read the transcript. But long story short, they started talking about giving this guy immunity. I said, holy shit. What does this guy know? And what has he been involved in where he needs immunity? Diddy's defense flipped. They were pissed. They did everything they could to block this man from getting immunity and complaining and pouting. And y'all, in real time yesterday, this guy went from about to plead the fifth to being granted immunity by the judge, and then preparing to go on the stand and spill all the beans. And just like the damaging snitch witness before, he was only on there because this happened late in the day, so he was actually on the stand not too long, because they're gonna start with him today. But he told it all, even just yesterday. And Diddy's, I don't know if y'all saw the sketch, but Diddy's hands, his head sunk into his hands. It's like he knows this is the beginning of the end. Like I told y'all, one thing about conspiracy, RICO, your most damaging evidence, other than phone records and video, of course, your most damaging evidence is snitches in your own organization. See, a lot of people are confused about what RICO is. A lot of people feel like, because they watch movies or Law and Order or just seen some big RICO cases, they think RICO is gangs running around robbing and killing people. And if they don't see that, they're like, I don't see RICO. RICO is actually very simple. RICO is an organized crime It's just organized crime. That's what it is. A business or gang or some type of entity committing organized crime. That's all it is. There's no smoking gun, no big crazy evidence you need to prove that. So we're gonna get into this surprise witness. This article is coming from the Associated Press. But y'all, this is a big one. And guess what? He just got started yesterday. He is going to go in on Diddy and his organization and what they did. Like I said, for him to only be comfortable talking after he's granted immunity should tell you all you need to know. So Associated Press says ex-assistant tales of cleaning up booze, drugs, and baby oil after Sean Diddy Combs' sex marathons. Sean Diddy Combs, one-time personal assistant, testified yesterday that he was in charge of cleaning up hotel rooms after the hip-hop mogul's sex marathons, tossing out empty alcohol bottles, baby oil, and drugs, tidying pillows, and making it look as if nothing had ever happened. Cleaning up the mess. Small little implication here is they're cleaning up knowing that what they're doing is wrong. See, you got to be able to read between the lines. And that's what a lot of people aren't able to do. They read that and they say, well, that's just nothing. No, it's showing that he didn't let the hotel clean it up. He cleaned it up because he knew it was wrong. Diddy had his people clean it up. And what makes it RICO? Because these people were hired to be helping and involved in music, clothing line, day-to-day regular jobs like me and you have. They weren't hired to be cleaning up baby oil and drugs and buying drugs and intimidating people and running around and driving them around with pistols. See, that's RICO. See, people are making this RICO thing trying to make it like you have to have some big, it's like you got to have 1 million people killed and you got to be flying drugs from Colombia. That's what they think RICO is. No, RICO is simply a business or a gang, but in this case, we're talking about a business operating in structured, organized crime outside of the actual business. So if you hire somebody to promote your music, but then you got them buying drugs and setting up freak-offs, you're in danger of being caught into a RICO. Because that's organized crime. They're not letting you set up businesses to commit crimes. Do you understand how dangerous that is? If you could take a business structure and use it for crimes, that's why RICO exists. Anyway, let me continue. An implied part of his job was that protecting him and protecting his public image were important to Diddy. This guy's name is George Kaplan. He told the jurors, that's what I was keen on doing, protecting Diddy's image, otherwise known as protecting him from RICO. Kaplan, who worked for Combs from 2013 to 2015, said that Bad Boys Records founder would sometimes summon him to a hotel room to deliver a quote-unquote medicine kit, a bag full of prescription pills and over-the-counter pain medications. He said Combs dispatched him to buy drugs, including MDMA, also known as ecstasy. Yeah, you can't hire somebody as an assistant to promote and help with your music business, which is legitimate, and then turn around and be using them to purchase drugs, to deliver drugs, to buy drugs under fake names. As you all know, Diddy used the name Frank Black, which was a spinoff from Biggie's Frank White. This is all illegal activity. So for people saying they don't see the illegal, I'm walking you through it. This is all illegal. If you think that having workers buy drugs for you under fake names is legal. Lucky you got me, because your ass could be locked up right with Diddy doing this if you think this is legal. Kaplan was granted immunity to testify after initially telling Manhattan court that he would invoke his Fifth Amendment right. And later on in the show, I'm gonna break down the similarity between R. Kelly's racketeering charge that got him 30 years in New York in 2021. I'm gonna break down the similarities just so you know. So just hang on, but let's get it. Let's stay to course and continue with these testimonies. Prosecutors contend Combs leaned on employees and used his music and fashion empire to facilitate and cover up his behavior, aka RICO. Sometimes making threats to keep them in line, and his misconduct, hush, hush. Those last few sentences are the cornerstone of RICO. I'm trying to drill it into the heads of the people who may still be lost. You can't have a business and use your employees. If I own a Walmart, I can't hire my employees to ring out the register and also use them to buy drugs and intimidate and help me hide my crimes. That would be a RICO. Let's continue as we get a million pop-ups. Come on, Associated Press. Kaplan testified that Combs threatened his job on a monthly basis, once berating him for buying the wrong size bottled water. Combs' longtime girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie, testified that Kaplan quit after seeing Combs beat her. This is far past domestic violence. I'm starting to think people don't understand what domestic violence is. Domestic violence doesn't include making people buy you drugs and running around and kidnapping folks and putting putting guns to people's head. This has far exceeded that. But there was a quote that they ended on, and when they end on a certain quote, pay attention, because they ended on that quote for a reason. They talked about two different times, Miami and LA, where Diddy, itty bitty Diddy, Mohawk Diddy, whatever you want to call him, the diddler, where he had this guy do some more illegal activity. And it's important to note that they specifically talked about Miami and LA to drive home the point that this is federal, crossing state lines, using your employees to purchase drugs for you. This is all RICO. Kaplan said, and I'm quoting this directly from the stand, in Miami, Mr. Combs asked me to call a person. He came and gave me a bag of pills, MDMA. I gave him cash. I gave the pills to Mr. Combs. The prosecutor says, and what about LA? He says, I went out and met the person in Hollywood. I gave money, and in turn, he gave me a bag of goodies, let's just say. And that's where they ended as far as his testimony. He still has a lot more to go on what he's going to tell, but just in that short period of time, he laid out the federal RICO. He laid out the jobs that Diddy had him do that didn't have anything to do with promoting music, promoting fashion, or any of the other legitimate ventures that Diddy had. And he ended on that note, leaving the jury, I'm sure, wanting to know what was next. Ladies and gentlemen of the Flow Show No Filter, another thing I exposed yesterday, I kind of talked to y'all about it yesterday, but I exposed TMZ for their hypocrisy, and it's damn shameful. And it's very shameful how they're so flagrant, and they think they can just do whatever they want. They don't think people will notice, which people didn't really notice, but I brought attention to it, luckily. But they don't think they think we're so dumb that we won't notice that they have Harvey Levin. When I say they, I'm talking about Harvey's ass. Has not only a long-term relationship with Mark Garagos and which is basically Diddy's longtime friend and attorney who's done helped him do plenty of shady things. Well, you have a podcast with Mark Garagos, which basically means you have a podcast with Diddy's legal team. It's called Two Angry Men or something. Mark Garagos, as of even up to last week, said Diddy is a friend that I will never abandon. One thing I can say about Mark Garagos, he's not hiding who he is and what he's about. It's Harvey being a spineless and shameful man by twisting the evidence in the Diddy trial and making it seem like the prosecution doesn't have a case, all because he's pandering to his homeboy, Mark Garagos, who not only is Mark Garagos friends with Diddy and basically got his fingerprints all over the case, but his daughter is the lead attorney. So who in their right mind believes that Harvey is going to go against his boy, Mark Garagos, who is a longtime friend of TMZ and gives legal analysis all the time? He's on a podcast with him, and Mark Garagos' daughter, Tenny Garagos, is a lead attorney on this case. And you expect me to believe that that what you're saying is unbiased. But it's so much information, for some reason that all went over the public's head until I made a post about it that's going viral on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And I'm letting my podcast know. And I will continue to drive the point home. A lot of people said, well, that's unfortunate. What are you going to do? I know you've been on TMZ quite a few times. Well, a lot of times, well, really what you don't know is I declined a few months ago, I declined the last appearance because I felt like they were using me already. And I'm glad I did. And I actually blocked them on Skype. I'm not real. I already told y'all. See, a lot of people talk shit, but when I tell y'all I am for the people, I don't give a fuck about celebrity. I don't give a fuck about nobody's contract. I don't care about TMZ signing me or wanting to sign me or none of that. The truth is the truth. And TMZ and any big time company like them can kick them same rocks in them same flip-flops without them same socks as everybody else. I love when I get a chance to prove to y'all, because I don't like just talk. I like receipts. I like to prove my words. You got the realest truth teller in the game right now that you are listening to and you are watching. The person that will tell TMZ to kiss my ass if I don't like the way they operate. Yeah, I was on there 5 times. And I'm gonna tell you real quick before we go into the rest of this testimony. The last day I felt like they were using me and trying to take me off of my journey, off my movement, because the last day they had me all day. They were saying, you about to go on, and went through the whole. I told you the TMZ thing is a whole day process. And then they get to about the end of the show, and then they say, now, mind you, I have a show to do. My days are not, I can't just, it does me no good to just sit around with anybody. I don't give a fuck if you TMZ or who you are. But I did, and then at the end, they just said, "Oh, sorry, we ran out of time today. Thank you, because can we reschedule?" Like with no type of, I was like, I didn't even say nothing. I didn't even respond because I didn't want to say what really came in my head immediately. So I just left it alone. And then the next day, I kind of had calmed down a little bit because I don't like to don't play me like that. Y'all not doing me no favors at all. I get way more views than y'all. I got way more impact than y'all. TMZ days are over. And this trial is the death blow. Anyway, by the next day, I said, you know what? I just respectfully declined, and then I blocked them on Skype. Because Skype is how you communicate and you do the video and all that with them. And I just blocked them and moved on. I ain't think twice about it. I didn't make no big deal about it. I didn't come in here screaming about it. It was just a decision I made. And here we are a couple months later, and it was the best decision of my life because I'm glad I separated from that phony ass TMZ, because I don't like that. Say, if you want to, like I always say, you could be on Diddy's side. I don't care what side you choose, but don't be fake and pandering and manipulating the public, because that's what I'm here for. No spin, no manipulation. And Harvey, you can see it. If you can read people like I can, you can see it on his face. He don't even sound like himself when he's trying to convince the world about how Diddy is innocent, or however he wants to put it. Diddy is, they have no case. You can tell it's not even coming from a genuine place. But that's enough about TMZ. Fuck TMZ. Because today we have Kid Cudi coming up, and we got to talk about that. Y'all know the situation with Kid Cudi. This is another thing that's going to blow the socks off of this RICO. I say again and again and again, it is amazing how many people are speaking on this and don't even understand what RICO is. And then you come in my comments and you get chewed up and spit out. You know why? Because I actually read the indictment paperwork 1,000,000 times over. I've actually studied and learned what the letter of the law of RICO is. I've actually studied to the letter of law what the charges are that Diddy has. And that ain't even enough for me. Not only have I studied the interpretation of the law, well, damn it, I studied the history of the law. And not only did I study the history of the law, I studied other RICO cases similar to Diddy's case. But you got these creeps in the comments that just because they put their video game down and their Cheetos down for a second and type their Cheeto infested fingers on the keyboard, and when they got something to say, they think they know more about this case or RICO than I do, when they haven't done 1/100th with a TH at the end. They haven't done one bit of the research I've done, but they think they can just shoot from the hip and just come on my internet and regurgitate what somebody like Lil Bootsy said. Lil Bootsy ain't read the indictment. Most people, I don't even blame people for not reading indictment. If you're not into this or you don't do this as for a living, I really don't expect you to. But I also don't expect to think you're going to come in bringing a knife to a gunfight coming in my comments. Because as you can see, anybody who follows my social media. I won via million and I chew their ass up every time. It's actually fun because it's so easy to do. But let's get to this kid Cudi live right now. The Mirror is live in the courtroom. I done pulled up their publication. Oh, y'all, I'll be out there next week. I'll be out there to Diddy to New York for the courthouse. I mean, to the courthouse for the trial next week. I will be giving all my VIP Diddy customers, listeners, supporters. I will be giving y'all all exclusive information. I'm gonna tell you what Diddy looking like in there. I'm glad I finally be able to see what he actually looked like, because these courtroom sketches got Diddy looking like a mix between Old Man Winter, Edward Scissorhands, and I don't know what he looking like, but it got me wanting to see what the hell do he look like in person, because this sketch is looking like Heat Mice, or I don't know who he looked like. So let's go to the Mirror, who is live right now. You know I like the Mirror. That's one of my favorite publications. Kid Cudi is set to testify. He all see everything that happened with getting up and itty bitty bitty and itty bitty diddy bitty. So let's go. Kid Cudi is expected to testify today as he gets set to speak out on his relationship with Cassie Ventura. The rapper, whose real name is Scott Muscudi, that's my boy, Shaker graduate. You know, I'm also a Shaker graduate from Cleveland, Ohio, but Shaker is a suburb of Cleveland. Go Raiders. He's going to testify about when Cassie was going through a time with Diddy, and him and Cassie was running around, and they dated off and on from 2007 all the way to 2018. Shout out to us Cudi for still dating Cassie back and forth after Diddy blew his car up. Man's brave, ain't he? Muscudi is expected to speak about the Bad Boy Records founder, including allegations that Combs blew up his car. It comes after Ventura's mom, Regina, alleged her family took a $20,000 home equity loan to pay Combs due to threats he allegedly made while Ventura was dating Muscudi. If you all remember, Diddy told Cassie's mom, I'm gonna put out this freak off tape if y'all don't pay me $20,000. And he also should have added in, and I'll be looking at a hell of an extortion case after this. He kind of left that part out. Textbook extortion here. She paid the $20,000. He accepted the $20,000. And just in this paragraph, we have extortion, which is obvious, plain as day, and intimidation and kidnapping, which fell into the Kid Cudi situation. But yet you still have some people that'll say, I don't see any I don't see any crimes. All I see is domestic violence. Well, open your damn eyes, because it's way more than domestic violence. Do you understand that? What do you think blackmailing and extorting somebody out of $20,000 is? Do you think it's legal to say, hey, either you send me this money or I'm doing this? I'm putting a explicit tape out about your daughter. People see what they want to see. But the thing is, like I said, Diddy sees more because he keeps hiring lawyers every damn day. Kourtney Kardashian claimed she was punched at a Diddy party. All kind of stuff going on. They couldn't poke holes in Dr. Hughes, going back to Dr. Hughes' testimony. They couldn't poke holes in her testimony. Everything she said pretty much lined up. The defense, I'll tell you what the defense's cross-examination, it was basically they were trying to say she was there for the money and also that she's never testified in support of a defendant. Those were their two bases, basically their arguments that they leaned on heavily for the cross-examination. I feel it fell flat because she's just an expert, and whatever money she makes, they tried to imply, they were like, is because she gets $600, I think she said, per hour or something. And they were like, is that mostly all your income? She's like, no, maybe half. And they was like, no further questions. Like, they thought they did something with that. So if somebody getting paid for their job or getting paid well for their job is a crime, then maybe they have her. But that argument fell flat on me, and the fact that she's never testified in support of a defendant, that's kind of obvious. If she is an expert on victims, then 10 times out of 10, the defendant isn't the victim. Maybe that's just me. I told you, they just stealing Diddy's money. I really believe, let me tell y'all, I'm being straightforward here. I really believe that the defense even knows that this is an open and shut case, and they just taking their Diddy's money, because it doesn't even, the only person that I feel like actually on the defense team really put effort into this case is Westmoreland, the black female attorney that Diddy has. Other than that, the rest of these guys seem like they just collecting a check. And y'all know it's human nature to not give something your all when you know your all won't be enough. I'm gonna say that again. It's human nature a lot of times to not give it your all when you already know your all isn't enough. And that's the vibe I'm honestly getting from Diddy's defense team. Because I am somebody who works extremely hard at my craft. I enjoy watching and listening to people who work hard at their craft and are doing a great job at their craft. So aside from whatever my opinion could be in the Diddy trial, best believe I am anxiously waiting and watching these cross-examinations, because I'm expecting them to like come with some heat. I'm still a person that likes to see somebody kill their job. So when I'm watching the case, it's not like I'm watching it like, okay, I'm not going to give the defense any credit. I'm just going to hype up the prosecution. That's not me at all. I'm literally watching. That's why I was actually genuinely kind of excited. Not excited because this is a fucking horrible ass case, but I mean, I was excited to see Westmoreland kind of do such a great job cross-examining Dawn. Kind of tripped up Dawn on some inconsistencies, and she just did an amazing job. So it's not like I come in here, and I'm just not wanting to give the defense any credit. I like watching somebody do an amazing job at their craft, whatever that is. That's why I work so hard at my craft. Every podcast episode, I want it to be better than the last. Every content video I drop recapping the Diddy trial, I want the next one to be my best one. That's just the drive and the type of person I am. So I love to see it on other people. So if the defense came with a masterful cross-examination or did something very witty and smart, I would tell y'all. But I'm extremely disappointed. It's literally like they know that this is an open and shut case, but they're going to continue to get these millions from Diddy. But at the same time, they're not even putting no real effort into it. Their cross-examinations are literally just asking questions. It's almost like they're just going up there to shoot the breeze and then throw out some cheesy, aggressive statement to make it look like they're doing something. Like questioning how much money Dr. Hughes is making for doing her job. That's not going to make the jury say, well, we're not going to listen to her because she gets paid a lot. Actually, it's going to make them listen to her more because they're like, oh, damn, if she getting paid that much, she must be damn good at her job. Assholes. The Diddy defense is just not doing a great job. And that's just me being honest, not me just wanting to, kick them and not give them any credit. Shit, I definitely would like to. But let's get into also, let me break down, and this is material that y'all can use because I know I'm not the only one. I know y'all have to argue with a few assholes on this case who just refuse to either listen to the case with an open mind and fair mind, or they just want to be jerks. I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. There's a lot of guys who do a lot of the same things Diddy is doing, maybe not to that level, but it's a lot of guys who manipulate and use their money as leverage on women, and they need they need for whatever Diddy did to be okay so that they can sleep at night. See, I understand the psychology behind it. You're only rocking with somebody doing this stuff, so all this horrific shit, because you got a little bit of that in you, and you need for this to be something besides just a terrible, horrible piece of shit of a guy doing horrible things to an innocent young woman who was under his leadership. You can say what you want to say about Cassie, but you can't say she was leading that ship. She wasn't driving the bus. Anybody with a half a brain knows that Diddy was the bus driver on this whole mission. He controlled everything. But I'm gonna give you a little ammo to help you fight with these jerks who refuse to believe the truth. See, there's actually a case that is identical to this case. And it was a RICO with R. Kelly. And it happened in New York, exactly where this takes place. R. Kelly received 30 years because they got him in RICO. Now, I ask everybody else before I even go into it, what would make R. Kelly's case RICO and not Diddy's? See, because you got to get out your head that RICO is flying in cocaine from Colombia and running around with gangs and shooting people and killing and robbing and stealing. And that's one form of RICO that most of us know. Like I said before, RICO is just organized crime. And using your quote unquote business to manipulate and help you do the manipulating. So similarities are like both R. Kelly and Diddy face charges under the RICO Act, which was originally designed to combat organized crime, as I told you. Prosecutors in both cases alleged that each artist led a criminal enterprise that facilitated and concealed sexual exploitation and abuse. This approach allowed the government to present a pattern of criminal conduct over a time rather than cherry picking isolated incidents. Same exact crime. So when people are arguing with you, and I'm going to continue on this, but when people are arguing with you, ask them to tell you what's the difference between R. Kelly being charged and getting 30 years for his RICO and racketeering. What is the difference between his and Diddy? Besides, Diddy has 100 more incidents. What were some of the similarities? I'm going to break that down to you. Both R. Kelly and Diddy were accused of leveraging their celebrity status to recruit and manipulate victims. Prosecutors argued that their public persona and industry power enabled them to lure individuals into abusive situations under the guise of career opportunities or personal relationships. Sound familiar? The only difference right now is one is still on trial and the other person got 30 years in New York in the same system. 30 years for racketeering and RICO. If you would have told, I remember arguing with people then. The only difference was I wasn't talking to the world in 2021. I was just arguing amongst my peers. And they were telling me then, R. Kelly ain't gonna do no time. This ain't nothing but hearsay, he say, she say. They don't have no real evidence. This ain't no RICO. Judge slammed that gavel and gave him 30 years like it was 30 minutes. And Mr. Told You So had done it again. Because people just like to argue. I like to actually evaluate and actually read what the hell is going on. So when you argue with me, it's not a fair argument because I'm sure you haven't researched this topic backwards and forwards like I have. Which is why I tear their ass up in the comments. But I'm going to continue. It's more similarities. It doesn't stop there. I'm giving y'all ammo to go against and to educate some of these fools out here. The next thing was coercion and control was both a theme in both of these cases. In both trials, testimonies highlighted how the defendants exerted control over victims through psychological manipulation, isolation, and threats. Victims described being coerced into sex acts and subjected to strict rules and punishments for non-compliance. Punishments like beating the hell out of somebody in a hotel on camera and then bribing the hotel to not bring the tape out and paying off the tape and trying to conceal your crime and actually having your workers help you. Sound familiar? Again, one person, the only difference is one person is on trial, that being Diddy, and R. Kelly received 30 years for racketeering and RICO. Let's continue. Another huge similarity. Both R. Kelly and Diddy were alleged to have employed a network of associates who facilitated their abusive behavior. These enablers reportedly assisted in recruiting victims, arranging travel, and enforcing the defendant's rules. Sound familiar again, right? Diddy, his workers, employees, 2 of them have already flipped. Do you know there's probably about 10 or 20 more? You know we got to hear from the security team. They keep talking about that was involved. They're going to have to flip. We have a chef who cooked for Diddy, who she's going to testify about Diddy whooping her ass and beating her to death and beating her into intimidation. And Cassie has testified about all these enablers. Christina Korn, who was the chief of staff, everybody said was the biggest assistant out of all of them. Enabler. The guy who's on George Kaplan, who's on the stand right now, who was an enabler, so much so to the point where he needed fucking immunity. When people who worked for you need immunity just to tell what they did, that should fucking tell you something. If your employee is scared to death to talk on the stand unless they have immunity, then that means you are doing more than just having them pass out flyers and promote music. You are now rocking with the mother effing best. And don't y'all forget it. The rest of these TMZs and the rest of these people, they can't touch what we doing over here in this flow community. You're not getting no breakdown like this nowhere else. And I'm gonna tell you what people like about what I found out, what people like about what I do and why I'm crushing it and killing everybody else, dominating the competition. It's because I don't just sit up here and just shoot from my hip and just tell y'all and use catchphrases and just tell y'all what to think or tell y'all what I think. See, I tell y'all what I think, but then I back it up with a concise explanation backed up by sources that you can go look up yourself. And then when you go look it up yourself, you come up with the same outcome as me. Nobody else does that. I don't need to just tell you and make y'all think y'all got to think what I think. No, I tell you what I think, but then I give you every piece of information that how I came up with that. I show my work, in other words. So you can go and look it up and say, damn, TMZ does have a podcast with Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos is a longtime friend and lawyer of Diddy. Mark Garagos' daughter is the lead attorney on Diddy's defense team. So having a podcast with Diddy's defense team is a conflict of interest. I didn't just come out and say, hey, y'all, Harvard's compromised. Fuck Harvard. I didn't just say that. That's what a lot of other podcasters and YouTubers and media operate. They just tell you shit and just expect you to believe them and go with them. No. I'm going to tell you where I got my information from and why I believe this. And let's continue. Now, there was another thing that they both had alike. There was a multimedia of evidence, meaning in both cases, prosecutors presented video and audio recordings, text messages, as evidence of the alleged abuse. We saw Diddy beat the hell out of Cassie on tape. Who knows what more tapes we're gonna see? I think they say they're showing the jury the freak off tapes. I don't know if they showed them already, but they do show people drugged up out of their mind, allegedly on that tape. They're showing people drugged up out of their mind, basically like zombies, committing an illegal sex act, meaning paid for sex, by hiring people who are coming to do a legal job, which is dancing and shaking their Punisher. Remember, Punisher came through with his Punisher, and he thought he was just going to shake his Punisher all over the place. And Diddy wanted more. Itty bitty Diddy called the Punisher. I can't make this stuff up. And another similarity, which I think is going to be what ultimately makes Diddy toast. And it was another thing that makes me believe that the defense is just stealing Diddy's money. They know this case is not winnable, but who's going to turn down millions of dollars? And like I said, not only do I just feel that way, I really feel that way because I don't think they really put no real serious effort into the case. It doesn't seem like that. Like these cross-examinations, I've seen better out of public defenders. I'm being honest. But the defense is using the exact same defense strategy that R. Kelly's defense used that got him 30 years. They are going to claim that the sexual activities were consensual and that the victims were willing participants. Both their legal teams are trying to convey that the relationships are mischaracterized and that the allegations are motivated by financial gain. Well, that defense got R. Kelly 30 years and a gazillion months. However many months, 30 years, was that like 360 months? I don't know how many years that is. I know it's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, and so the defense put R. Kelly in jail for the rest of his life or in prison. And it looks like Diddy's defense is saying, hold my beer. Because I'm about to do the same damn thing. Take Diddy's money and give him a nice hug when this is over and tell him I did my best. And as they escort him away to do 30 years, this lawyer gonna move on and do all type of interviews and make more money. These lawyers probably gonna make more money after Diddy is locked up than they even made while representing him. They just stealing money, y'all. Identical cases, both racketeering and RICO, from celebrities who used enablers around them to commit all of these sex crimes and other crimes of intimidation and blah, blah, blah. But like I said, to me, the main difference is Diddy has 100 times more incidents that can fall under RICO than R. Kelly had. R. Kelly wasn't running around kidnapping folks and making them blow up people's car that he was jealous of. R. Kelly wasn't even doing that. See, Diddy has so many incidents that can fall under racketeering and RICO. It's ridiculous. You only need 2 acts under RICO within a 10-year period to be charged with RICO. Meaning, if they prove that person was kidnapped in order for them to gain entry into Kid Cudi's residence, if they prove that, that's one. If they prove that a bomb, they were behind and put the bomb in Cudi's car, that's 2. Boom, RICO done right there. We don't even need Cassie. We don't need the chef who got her ass beat. We don't need none of that. But then we go to the sex trafficking. He has so many different sex trafficking incidents. You just pick one. Then all the times he had people picking up and buying drugs. The time that he had his worker get in the car and drive him to Suge because he thought Suge Knight was somewhere and he pulled up with pistols. See, conspiracy to RICO doesn't even mean you actually have to carry out the job. This is why I tell y'all, people don't know what the hell is going on. They don't even have a clue. Conspiracy RICO is not substantive RICO. Substantive RICO is you have to do tangible things. You really have to have done the things. Conspiracy RICO includes it all. Things you've done and things that you tried to do. As long as you had your employees working with you to carry out these illegal missions, your ass is grass. Forced labor. These people have said that Diddy had them working 20 hours a day for years, for months. And he threatened your job every time you looked around. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an employer, you can't do this shit. Don't let the creeps in the comments fool you and have your ass sitting next to Diddy twiddling your thumbs. Forced labor, coercion. And we're only just approaching 2 weeks in. And the prosecution could rest their case after Kid Cudi is done, and Diddy would be fried green tomatoes. And think, we still got 4 more weeks of just the prosecution, and then the defense gets a week or 2 to call their witnesses. And I believe that's going to be a shit show. But we'll see. Like I told y'all, I am at the end of the day, outside of the horrific shit that's going on in this case, I am a fan of people who are great at their craft or do a great job. So even though we all know what the outcome that we're looking for and believe that will be the case, I still watch the cross-examinations in anticipation to see somebody do a great job at their job. It's just not happening on the defense side. It's just not happening. We're not even after Kid Cudi is done. Now, mind you, today, y'all, just today, Diddy's main assistant that he trusted the most, that needed immunity to even feel comfortable to proceed, and the judge granted him immunity quicker than you could DoorDash some McDonald's to your house. The judge signed that immunity. Shout out to the judge for that. He gave out immunity like it was a personal pan pizza. Boom, 15 minutes. It was done. And so was Diddy. But think, he is about to have the meat of his testimony today. No, Diddy. George Kaplan. And then Kid Cudi is set to testify today. After that, Diddy is souffled, crock-potted, pan-seared, Benihanaed, deep-fried to a golden crisp, flame broiled. And just think, it's at least 4 more weeks of this after that. And you're going to still have some Cheeto eating, video game playing, goldfish brain comments and creeps in the comments, still talk about, all I see is domestic violence. Man, go on back to Fortnite, man. Go on, get back on Fortnite, man. We talking about a serious case here. We don't need your input. Go on back to 2K. I don't even play video games. So I don't even know. I'm about to name video games from the 90s. Go play Madden. Do they still make that shit? I don't even know. Even in the R. Kelly case, I didn't feel like he was cooked after week 2. Amazing. But you'd be surprised how many people didn't realize TMZ's hypocrisy with the podcast. It was people that was like, I didn't even know they had a podcast together. And I was like, well, you know now because of Flow. And one thing TMZ know, and anybody like them, I ain't impressed by none of y'all asses. I rock with my Flow community. I rock with my real community, my family, my friends. That's who I rock with. And I rock with them. I don't give a shit if I become a billionaire off this podcast, or if I become, when I become the top podcaster, the #1 media guy that everybody go to. See, I'm just going to stay with my same crew. I don't care about the glitz and the flame and the fame and all in the celebrity world and all that. That's the difference between me and a lot of these other people. I can sit right here on YouTube, on Apple and Spotify, rocking with my Flow community. I don't give a shit how big this thing gets. I'm going to still be here with y'all talking shit about them. I don't desire. I got my friends. My life is carved out. I'm happy as hell in my world. I don't even want to be a part of that world. I just want to be a person that gets his ass up in the morning, turns his mic on, and say the realest shit I ever wrote. And if I could do that every day for a living and y'all continue to support me, I'm happy as a lark. Fuck TMZ and fuck anybody else. You can't buy me. I ain't for sale. I wasn't for sale in my early 20s when I was running around trying to do music and realized that these weirdos want you to do some strange stuff. I wasn't going for it then, and I damn sure ain't going for it as a grown-ass old man. Fuck him, like my dad used to always say. Nobody could say fuck him like my dad. He could land that F in a way that I only hope one day I can land the F in that fuck him like he did. So again, when you subscribe to this podcast, you subscribing to history. You subscribing to somebody who don't give a damn about the elites or doesn't desire to be in their good graces or at their little funky Met Gala parties and all that. You already can tell. How many people would, after being on TMZ 5 times, would call their ass out and block them off Skype? When I was a youngin' and me and Floyd was running around, I was running around with Floyd and 50 Cent at the height of their career. And when Floyd got to the point where he wasn't putting into my career, my music career, the way I felt like it should be, I left. The industry didn't kick me out. I kicked the industry out of my life. And Floyd will tell you itself. I'm different. But I believe that all plays a role in why I'm crushing what I'm doing and why y'all support me. Because, see, we tired of putting and building up people and supporting people, and then as soon as they get famous, they flip script and turn into a whole nother asshole. Well, y'all been on my journey since I started with 1 follower, and many of y'all have been here from 1 follower to I got about almost 500,000 followers and a top 5% podcast, and I get millions of viewers every day. I can't go anywhere without being recognized. And guess what? I'm still the same old flow. I'm still the same old flow that started 2.5 years ago with no shirt on, giving y'all the facts and telling y'all I don't give a damn about being involved and being in at the little celebrity weird ass parties and worried about what they say. I told y'all that then, and I just feel blessed to be able to make it to the level I've made it to, and I'm still excelling and taking this movement and going farther. But at this point right now, if I was the type of person to switch up, there's no way in hell I would have called out TMZ loud and clear. Because TMZ they called me every other week to come on the show. They were trying to prep me, I believe, to be a part of the show. But see, I ain't no price. You can't buy me. My loyalty is to the community that have been rocking with me for 2.5 years, and to the newcomers that have just found out about me because of the Diddy trial. But the people that have been rocking with me for 2.5 years know I've been doing this for a while. I've been doing this. I've been killing coverage on cases and amplifying victims' gripes and pains. I've been doing that long before the Diddy case. And I'm going to be doing it long after the Diddy case. So today we got, I am so excited to hear what the hell George Kaplan has to say, because for him to need immunity, he has some serious bombs to drop. So he is about to, they're going to start with him. So that should start pretty much right after this podcast. You should be hearing about what George Kaplan is saying, and then Cudi. And then there are like 3 or 4 other witnesses that the prosecution said they have. And so it's about to be an explosive day. I told y'all this week was hell week. Did I lie? Y'all saw the picture of Diddy's the sketch where he had his hands covering his head with his head sunk low. You ain't never seen Diddy like that. Body language don't lie. Verbal language can lie easily. So I got a couple of quick announcements, really quick, and then I'll give you my final thought before I get the hell out of here. But anyway, tonight, y'all, I'm thinking about doing the recap tonight at 7 p.m. Let me know in the chat between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. because I think I'm doing today's recap at that time because I fly out tomorrow. My son's birthday is tomorrow, and I fly out first thing in the morning. So I will be in the air, and I don't think I can podcast in the air. That might be against air regulations or whatever. I don't want to, I'm not trying to go to fucking jail while I'm talking all this shit. So I'm gonna be flying out tomorrow, and then my flight will be between like 5 a.m. and like I think I land at like 10 or something. So obviously I'll be in the air. So I was thinking maybe I'll do the recap tomorrow tonight at 7. So it'll be early because once the trial is over, or the day of the trial is over, I can do the recap because I prepared the night before anyway. So let me know in the chat if that works for y'all. If 6 p.m. or 7, it's gonna be somewhere in that time. I really think about doing that. And then tomorrow I'm still gonna hop on live. It'll just be like I'll be more on the go. So maybe like early as hell in the morning when I'm at the airport waiting on the plane, I might go live a little bit. And then once I land and get to my hotel, maybe I'll go live a little bit then as I'm moving around, calling that Flow on the Go. So I will still be going live tomorrow and talking to y'all. But as far as what we do here, I think it's gonna be better if I just do it tonight instead in the morning. So let me know if that's cool, if that works for y'all, and tell everybody, because this is gonna be the first actually time where I won't be doing it in the morning. So people who might not catch this episode might come tomorrow at 7:30 looking for your boy, and your boy gonna be in them friendly skies. So please let everybody know who watches this show, all your friends and everybody, that I'm probably going to do the show tonight, and I'm 90% sure. If I don't, it'll be because I'm getting ready, but I'm a guy. It take me 10 minutes to get ready to fly up out of here, so I don't think that'll be the case. But definitely I want to do that tonight. Also, I'll be at Touch of Italy in Cleveland on Sunday. I'm just asking people to come out. I just want to reach out and touch everybody who's been supporting me in Cleveland, especially my Shaker people. My Shaker people have held me down throughout all my journeys. They've seen me get record deals. They've seen me get golf scholarships. They've just supported me in all my Forrest Gump of life. I've just done all kind of shit. And so I want to be at a Touch of Italy and Shaker on Chagrin Sunday. Y'all know I'm an early person, so at 6 p.m. I plan to be there around 6 p.m. no later than 7. Y'all know I'm an early old man, so just wanted to make that announcement. And lastly, for the people, it doesn't happen a lot, but I put a lot of work into my research. I researched the hell out of everything before I come on here and tell y'all. If I'm telling y'all something that has to do with court law, then I'm reading it straight from federal court law book on Google. But sometimes you have people who, because I'm new or because I'm laid back, they feel like they got to watch and try to correct everything I say, and even though they're wrong. And I do. Y'all know me. If y'all been knowing me for a long time. If I need to be corrected, I actually do listen to people, and then I'll double check. But what I've learned and what I do, just so you know, if you try to correct me, make sure you know what you're talking about, because if you try to correct me after I've done hours of research, and then I listen to you, and then I go have to look it up again to make sure I'm right, and then if you make me do all of that and you're wrong, I'm blocking you off my social media. Why do I do that? Because I can't keep up with all the people that message me. But I got to make sure you don't waste my time anymore, because I put so many hours into what I do, and I'm not going to say anything important to the case or anything pertaining to how a case is ran according to the law. If it's anything like that, I am reading it straight from the law book, federal law. I'm not going to be up here just shooting from the hip, explaining how jury goes and this and that. And so, just a fair warning. I don't mind being corrected, and anybody knows me, I'll come right on here and say, hey, I messed up with this, and I'll correct it. It's no big deal. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm not ashamed to make a mistake. I just don't really make them. because I double and triple and quadruple check everything before it comes out of this mouth. But if you do, make sure you know what you're talking about, because if I go back and do all the work again, researching what I've already researched, and I find out I was right, and then I say to myself, well, you're just going to shoot from the hip and tell me I'm wrong, then I'm blocking you. And you know I'm straightforward. It's the Flow Show, no filter. Not a little bit of filter, not a lot of filter, not a tiny smidget of filter. The Flow Show, no filter. I'm just honest. And it's not even no hard feelings. It's just that I can't have you or anybody like you wasting my time because I work hard as fuck. And if you're going to correct me, if you're not going to look it up yourself and make sure you're right, you're just going to tell me and make me do more work, I have to get you out of my social media mix, because I have too many loving and adoring fans that I love and we talk to, and I want to spend more time on them. I don't have time for nobody who watches my shit and feel like they got to proofread me. Go listen to Nancy Grace and TMZ and all them. Leave me the fuck alone. Other than that, much love to everybody. I'm going to get on out of here so I could get ready, because I think I am going to definitely do that show tonight. So y'all don't miss the recap. And y'all know me, I don't like missing work for shit. So I'm gonna, what they call, going to work early and try to knock this shit out tonight. I don't think I had any subscribers to mention. I think yesterday was one of the few days where we didn't have anybody new subscribe. Okay, I'm just looking to make sure. No new subscribers, so no news there. Let me go in these comments and shout out all my people. I got Kobe, Janelle, Emily, Ebony, Wayne. Shout out to Wayne. Shout out to Sherry. Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Desiree. Shout out to Gian. Shelly, what's up? Shelly said, RICO has been proven already. You damn Skippy. Hey, Steph. Steph said, tell me why you're mad, Flo. Hell yeah. Amy, what's up? Cindy. Aaliyah. Love that name. Aaliyah said, get him, Flo. Wayne said, some people are allergic to reading. Steph, thank you for the $4.99 super sticker. I am going to need all my super stickers going to New York next week. New York is high, and it costs an arm and a leg. So if I come back to this show without one arm and one leg, y'all going to know that it was very expensive in New York. Jen says, definitely her dad's greatest advice. Fuck him. Yep, that is the best advice you can get. Myra's in here, and I believe if I'm correct, that's Myra from Shaker. Hope to see you at the Touch, Myra, and thanks for always supporting. Myra has supported me on all my Forrest Gump ventures. I've done it all. I'm finally done. This is it, y'all. I'm a podcaster / content creator till my old ass can't do it no more. I ain't doing no more jobs. Hey, Patricia says, if you need guns, then your job is illegal. Yes. Soul Snatchers. Kane says, I love how direct and honest and unbiased fact-checking you are. Very meticulous in your research, and your storytelling is scary. It's so scary how many pick-me's are there choosing to be blind. Thank you, Elise. Hey, Kevin, what you say, Kevin? Diddy needs to start doing the freak-off party in jail. He probably already started. Kane said, I hope you get thousands of subs. Thank you, Kane. They're doing a great job. Always could get more, though, so tell your friends to sub. But we're doing a great job. I'm not complaining. Where can we watch the Diddy updates when you're off air? Follow me. That's Portia said that. Follow me on my social media account. I'm on TikTok. But on the TikTok, it's the Flow Show, no filter. But on Instagram and Facebook, it's Flow Daddy Flow, FLODADDYFLO. I probably need to put that in the notes. And that's why I do my daily updates and breaking news. Steph said, happy birthday, King. Yeah, happy birthday to my son. Yep, my son first over anything else. Yep, Court TV gives updates, sure does. Mike Jackson said he will be tuned in for the recap. Thank you, Mike Jackson. I think Mike Jackson said he's going to come and Shaker too. and a touch of Italy and come up with your boy, and we're gonna have some good pizza, and we might have a couple drinks. But after this Diddy thing, I'm scared to take drinks from anybody, so I probably won't partake. Gian said, let's do it tonight. Okay, we're gonna do it tonight. Recap sound good. Amy says it sounds good. Man, we got you no matter what. Sherry said, I believe that's Sherry. Teresa said tonight will work. Tonight, please. Okay, we're gonna do it tonight. I would like that. Everybody's saying they like the late night update. So okay, we're gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna do everything in my power. Y'all know I keep my word. So now that so many of y'all said y'all want to do it, and now I'm standing on 10 toes that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it come hella hot water. I will bring y'all that update tonight at a special time. Hey Patricia again. Steph, hey Liz. Liz says it works for okay. So 7 Eastern, between 6 and 7 Eastern. I'm gonna try to have to post my I'm gonna have to post my my Diddy recap on my social medias first. So right when I get that out the way, I'll hop on. So I can't really say exactly what time because I usually wait till all the information comes out. Then sometimes I make the video in seconds or minutes, and then sometimes it takes me a little longer, so I can't never judge that. But we'll see. But I will get it done today, somewhere around 7 p.m. Eastern. Yari says whatever works for me. Hey, watch your mouth, Kevin. You see what we did to the last. C-Tuck is security at the door. I heard Diddy's also in federal forfeiture. Yep. And sure did. They trying to seize all. I'm glad you brought that up, y'all. Thanks for bringing that up. I can't see the name, but if Diddy is convicted, another thing that I didn't even talk about, didn't even think about. I knew it was the case, but I didn't think about it. They are ready to seize all of his companies and all of his assets. Diddy gonna have like less money than us. No, I'm just playing, but that is crazy. No Cleveland spots will be tolerated, dog. Oh yeah, nah. Cleveland made me. So you can't hate on Cleveland if you listening or viewing this chat. I was born and raised and made by Cleveland. So say what you want to say, but I rep Cleveland, and if you in here, you love Cleveland. Carol says thank you. Jen says, and I don't like it. Me neither, Jen. Jen said, I'm out. Yes, I love it. Mike Jackson, how do you subscribe? Let me put the subscription. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put the subscription link in the I'm gonna put the subscription link in the chat for you. That usually makes it easy for people. So give me a second. I'm so excited to go to Cleveland. I haven't been home in like 2 years. And so I'm so excited to see all my people. I love my people. I love my Shaker people. I love my Cleveland people. Cleveland made me. I will cuss you out about Cleveland. So I'm excited to go home and see everybody. Mike Jackson, I put the link in the chat. April Aaliyah says yes. B-Town said Big Papa. Miss D from Cleveland. Hey, Miss D from Cleveland. Y'all know I'm Cleveland born and raised. I love it. I said sorry for the mistake. Thanks for today's info. Happy birthday to my son. Thank you. Thank you to the new member, Nisi. Nisi became a new member. Shout out to Nisi. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I don't like it. I love it. Steph said, love you, Flo. We got you. I appreciate y'all. I know y'all got my back. Carol, you are exactly right. He got to be in heaven. Kim says, I was there when you first started. Can't get a shout out now. Yeah, Kim. Hey, Kim. Yeah, Kim's been an original. Let me see if I can put Kim's message up there. Kim been there from the beginning, y'all. So shout out to Kim. I love people who have been there from the beginning because they can testify that I ain't changed a bit, and I ain't gonna change. I told y'all that. I don't give a shit about. I'm only famous because y'all done made me famous. I did not think covering victim stories when I first started, there's no way I thought it would make me famous. I didn't. So I didn't. This is what y'all did. So that's why y'all better hold me down. Y'all done threw me into this global icon type of lane that I didn't ask to be in. I appreciate it. And it's a blessing and I love it, but it's not what I came for. And so because of y'all sharing and liking my content and telling everybody about me now, I can't go nowhere without somebody saying, hey, Flo, and I'm looking people, I'm like, don't know why they looking at me thinking like, did Mohawk Diddy send somebody at me? But no, it's just a fan, and all my fans are cool. So y'all don't have no choice but to have my back because this y'all made this happen. I was just making content in my fucking apartment, and next thing I know, y'all done made me a household name. I got Belgium, Portugal, Ireland, Australia, London, and I'm not even gonna talk about the United States. So I appreciate it, but y'all definitely did this. So since y'all did this, y'all gotta have my back and watch out and watch my whereabouts wherever I go. Cause y'all blew me up. No Diddy. Portia says safe flight, happy birthday, and I'm out. I love the I'm outs. We got our own language. That's why I'm telling people they can't fuck with our community and what we built. Not only do we keep it real and we keep the truth rolling, but we got our own language. You don't know how many people send me DMs and we talk and then they tell me I'm out. I'm like, they out. I love it though. It's like they talk to me and then they tell me I'm out or they out. And I love it. Trump don't like them. Yeah, that y'all can dead that Trump part. And y'all thinking this is back in 2000. Trump ain't giving a shit about no Diddy. He ain't pardoning him. Why would he? He has nothing to gain. We all know Trump. Is one thing about Trump. If he doing something, he got something to gain. He ain't got nothing to gain by pardoning Diddy. Right now, Diddy is persona non grata. No touch. Don't touch him. Safe travels. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Steph. Thank you, husband. Somebody said my husband. Yeah, I'll be your husband. Happy birthday, said by C Tuck. Other than that, I done shouted out all my people. Much love to everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. The subscription link is in the chat. As always, I love y'all. But I'm out.